Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. I'm gathering my thoughts, man. I'm gathering my thoughts. Every day it feels like a fight, especially when it comes to social media. Dash, why is this thing bothering you so much? I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it bothers me a lot. Every day, I should just log off of Twitter. Maybe I should just do that. Save myself a lot of stress. Maybe I should. But anyway, I'll make it through. It is what it is. We're just over a month away from the draft. Just over a month away. And boy, am I anxious. That's actually an understatement. I'm flat out scared right now. Being so close. Get my mic right. Pause. Being so close to what I believe will be a franchise quarterback. Being that close, but still yet so far. The New York Giants, we are at the mercy of what the Tennessee Titans do and what the Cleveland Browns decide to do. We are at the mercy of those two teams. And why are we at the mercy of those two teams? Because we beat the Colts. Because we beat the Colts, we are at the mercy of the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. What do I mean? We had the number one pick, 1 week away from having the number one pick, and we decided what? To win a game. And at the time, a lot of people said, you don't want to root for losses. I hate to root for losses. I don't root for losses. But I didn't want to win. Respectfully. Shamefully. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to have the pick of the litter. I wanted to be at the top of the draft. I wanted to be able to be the one to pick between which quarterback we got for the future. And here we are, a little over a month out of the draft, and the New York Giants for the second year in a row are on the outside looking in at quarterbacks. Well, I should say the top prospects, because last year we could have took a quarterback anyway last year, and we decided not to do that. But again, that's spilled milk. But this year, we are so close, but still so far away. And the back and forth that's going on between the fan base. Between the fan base is every day. Every day. You guys know. If you're watching, you're watching. If you're not watching, it is. You know who I go back and forth with. You can see it on the timeline on Twitter every day. Back and forth subliminals. Back and forth, post. I don't respect any Shedeur Sanders slander. Especially coming from people that did not even watch the guy play. Half of y'all was asleep when Colorado was playing. Especially in 2023. Half of you guys was asleep when those games came on. Those games were coming on 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast. I was arguing with somebody today. And he said, what are you talking about? That's Colorado. Nobody watches those games. I told him, I said, thank you for admitting that you didn't watch the games, because I'm convinced that a lot of people did not watch these games. What they did was they watched some clips. They have a predetermined narrative, and they only support whatever, supports their narrative or their view. Because if anybody ever watched more than maybe 3 games of Shedeur Sanders, they wouldn't be talking the way that they're talking. Unless you just got hate in your blood. And watch the Colorado team play and watch Shedeur Sanders play and say, yeah, this kid got it. This kid has it. People talk about the competition level. Well, he played for Colorado. It's a level playing field when we're talking about the teams in competition. It's not like it was an Alabama roster in a Colorado jersey playing against the Big 12. No, it was a Colorado team that was put together still needs to be put together. They're still growing that program, and they still did what they did. He did what he did. And it wasn't just throwing to Travis Hunter, because that'd be disingenuous if all people would say he just threw to Travis Hunter. He did throw a lot to Travis Hunter, though. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Why wouldn't you use your target? I've never seen somebody get ridiculed for using their number one weapon. That's like saying last year the Giants threw the ball to Malik Neighbors too much. Well, he's your number one wide receiver. He better be getting the most targets in the wide receiver room. I don't get the reverse analytical arguments that people have when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. And then at the end of the day, I just have to chalk it up that they just don't like the kid. They just don't like the idea of Shedeur Sanders and whatever idea they put in their head. So as I get closer to the draft, I find myself being more and more defensive when it comes to seeing these posts and what people decide, what they want to interact with. So today, for example, something set me off a little bit. There was a clip from the 2023 game between Colorado and Colorado State. It was about a 5-second clip where you see a defender from Colorado State get into Shedeur Sanders' face. And this is what he did. He poked into his helmet and looked like he tried to poke him in the eye. It looks like it. If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a duck. He tried to poke the guy in the eye. And all people said, oh, this guy's a coward. This I don't want this kind of attitude on my team. And it goes to show that people really didn't watch that game. And I'm not defending what he shouldn't have done that. But if you had any experience, or if you had actually watched that game was chippy from the beginning. From the beginning. These guys were fighting in the warm-ups before they even had the shoulder pads on. While they were just doing throwing drills out there, they were going after each other. And before that famous eye poke incident, there was a dirty shot on Travis Hunter by the safety of the Colorado State team. And that same quarterback that people call a coward, the same quarterback that said that people say he's not a leader, he was the first one to greet that safety when that safety wanted to talk trash after you see Travis Hunter on the ground in pain from a cheap shot. Who was the first guy to interact with that safety, to confront that safety from Colorado State? Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders. And I keep seeing comments, that's a cowardly move. You don't do that. Female activity, whatever you want to call it. He should have just pushed the guy, poking him in the eyes. And I understand you should not poke somebody in the eye, but you said he should have just pushed him. Well, there's a clip of Shedeur Sanders pushing the safety that did the dirty shot, the cheap shot on Travis Hunter. So to me, you can't have it both ways. You can't say the guy's not a leader. You can't say the guy's not good when the stats say otherwise, when the actions say otherwise. Is he young? Sure. Has he said some things? Sure. Has he matured? Absolutely. They talk about him throwing his offensive line under the bus by some comments that he made. And yes, he was wrong for that. That also was in 2023. That was also after a frustrating loss. The guy's not perfect. He's flawed. But between those white lines, he's pretty damn good, very accurate, has enough arm strength to get the ball where it needs to go, and he is cerebral, and a sniper on the field. And if you want to optimize your wide receivers, Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, whoever else we end up getting on this team, Jalen Hyatt, for God's sake, You need a quarterback like that who's accurate, who can maximize the yak yards. And Shedeur Sanders is that. So allow me to be corny for a minute. Allow me to be a nerd for just a minute. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. Loved it. Loved the series. Game of Thrones, loved the series. The prince that was promised. The prince that was promised. I'm going to go along with this theme for just a little bit. You have a kid that is hated. You have a kid, no matter what he does, people look at it like it's wrong. You have a kid that, despite all the obstacles put before him, outside of people saying growing up rich, outside of that, earned every position that he's in right now. And one thing they'll say, oh, Deion Sanders is his dad. Well, guess what? The name might get you the chance, but the play, make sure you stay on the field. And sure, his last name being Sanders opened some doors for him. But his play is what kept those doors open. Because if he sucked and his last name was Sanders, you wouldn't be talking about him in the first round. Let's be honest. He's not the first Sanders boy to play football. He always talk about his oldest brother, Bucky. Bucky played football. He played on the defensive side. He played football. How did that Sanders name work for him? His brother that's on the same team as him, Shiloh. How well is that Sanders name working for him? So don't be disingenuous and try to put everything under one umbrella saying, you know what, he's only here because his last name is Sanders. He might have got the opportunity because his last name was Sanders. Maybe Sanders helped you open up some doors. But his play on the field is what keeps these doors opening, and it keeps new doors opening as well. But that's how I feel, man. That's my little mini rant, if you want to call it that. That's my little mini video about Shedeur Sanders. This is how I'm feeling at the time. Listen, the New York Giants need a quarterback bad. Like, bad. How are you in the position that you're in right now? How are you year 4 into a regime with no quarterback? Let's just get that out of the way. How are you 4 years into a regime? This is not a brand new regime. How are you 4 years into a regime and you don't have a quarterback? Go ahead and pick up the prince that was promised. Come on, New York. Go get the kid that with the swag and the play on the field backs up the swag and the talk. Go ahead and do that. Go get the kid that's not afraid to talk a little trash on the field to the defenders. Give me the kid that's not afraid to get into the other team's face when they did something wrong to his teammate. Give me that energy at quarterback. I love that energy. I'll take an abundance of that energy. Just get it done, Joe Shane. Whatever you got to do, get it done. Whatever you got to do, get it done. And the Cleveland Browns, I keep seeing Cleveland Brown fans too. They're begging their owner to take Shedeur Sanders as well at 2. And Giant fans don't even want to take him at 3. And you got Cleveland Brown fans wanting them to take him at 2. But he ain't good enough for the Giants fans at 3. I don't understand. I won't understand. But it is what it is. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.